Hello everyone, today on the 1 Year Life Transformation Challenge we're going to talk about pain and how to overcome pain and suffering. Hello everyone, today I want to talk about a very hot topic. I've received a lot of emails about, in a variety of forms about pain and suffering. And as always, I'm going to start with a quote. And that quote is, "Pain is when your life conditions don't match your model of the world. But suffering comes from when you feel you're powerless to change it." From the great Robbins. And I'll just repeat that quote because there's quite a few messages in there. Pain is when your life conditions, so the things that are going on in your life, don't match your model of the world, so the way you think things should be. So that's the creation of pain, is when you start to see that the way you think should be aren't the way they should be. That's not a great way to live your life, because life can never completely match your imagination of it. And suffering, which is deeper than pain, comes from when you feel you're powerless to change it, and that's really important. It's one thing to have a model of the world, and that's okay, and you definitely expect things in your life, but when you feel powerless to change it, that's when suffering sticks around. Because pain goes away. We all know when you stub your toe, yeah, it hurts, but it's only going to hurt for a little while. But when you suffer, that suffering can go on for years, and for many people their lifetime, because they refuse to see that they can do something about their suffering, so it just lingers and continues. And pain and suffering is something I really want to touch on today, because it can be a really powerful inhibitor of your authentic life. So a lot of the emails I get are regarding breakups, losses, difficult situations, and you can see sometimes when a lot of my clients come to me, they're in a tough place. They come to me because pain has driven them to get some help. And pain is your best teacher. Pain is very important because it drives you to find answers. If we all lived very, very comfortably and we didn't feel pain, then we'd find very little reason to change or become better people. My personal story about pain is an interesting one, because ultimately I was able to ignore a lot of my pain as I went through my life. I was making a lot of money, I was doing a lot of great things, traveling, meeting new people, but the pain of not living my true purpose, and the pain of not being my authentic me, and being someone who was about money and the ego taking over, was creating this real uncertainty, this real pain, which is probably manifesting in anxiety, which is one of the key ways you can tell whether someone's in pain. It manifests through anxiety. Anxiety is a way of telling you something's wrong. It's a very bad way of telling you something's wrong, because it's generally never right. It's very opaque and difficult to understand, but it's a good signal to try and find help. So today we're going to talk about how to overcome that pain. For me, this was a system that I used, which was a remarkable system, which means that when pain enters my life, I can deal with it very quickly and move on, which is key, because you will encounter pain in your life, guaranteed. That's a guarantee from me. You will encounter pain. But how long that pain sticks around and how it drives you is totally up to you. So the first step in dealing with pain is to identify, why am I feeling pain? So an example might be that you see a photo from an ex on Facebook, would be a good example, and they're doing something fantastic, they're traveling around the world, and you feel pain. You could do two things. You could close down the picture and ignore it and go watch television or have a beer or whatever and ignore it, which will create that pain recycling over and over again. Or you can ask yourself, why do I feel pain? Is there some part of me that still loves this person? And is there some part of me that wants to be with this person? And that's okay. Loving someone and wanting to be with someone is actually a beautiful emotion. So you start to identify it, and then you ask yourself, where do I feel the pain? If you believe in chakras, or even if you don't believe in that sort of stuff, you know that pain feels in different areas. We always say people have a broken heart. It's generally pain to do with love and suffering from love. Hits you in the chest area, in the heart area. So identify where that pain is. When you identify, something incredibly interesting happens. Is your body goes, oh, you acknowledge the pain. I don't have to keep repeating this thought that is creating the pain. Because the pain is not real. Whether or not you saw that photo or not, that person still went around the world and had a great trip, apparently, according to the photo. But the thought of them doing that has created the pain. So not the activity, but the thought. So your body basically says to you, oh, you got my thought, great, and you dealt with it. So identifying is a key step, and even that alone will transform your life. But to move forward from that pain and learn, it's important to give it a value. And the new value of that pain in this particular example could be that I valued that relationship with that person so much that sometimes I wish it would have continued. So you give it a more positive spin, because generally what we do is the value we give it is negative. We generally say, oh, this person's no good and they hurt me and that's why I still long for them, and I've never got closure. That sort of value will really bring that thought back up and create the pain again. Now once you've given it a value, give it a meaning. What does this mean to me? When I look at these pictures, or when I think of this person, or when this pain comes through, what does it mean to me? And ultimately what it should mean to you is completely personal, but you'd like that meaning to be something about your life journey, your life experience. The meaning of that person was that at some stage of my life they were really, really important to me and we had a lot of great fun. Now what happens in that situation is your brain and the chemicals released from the thought processing activity in your brain generally leads to good hormones that will make you feel good because the meaning has been changed. Once you've done that, you can then allow it to become part of your past. And that's really important because thoughts can seem like the present, but they're not. You're remembering a memory of a memory. And I love that. That's really remarkable when you think about it. When you remember something, you're not remembering the event. You're remembering the last time you remembered it. So after time, what you're remembering is just vague electrical impulses. They don't have to drive you. They don't have to change the world. And once it's part of your past, it's part of your past. And your future and your present become much more important. Allowing it to become part of your past story is important. For some people that takes time, and even if you don't use this process, we all know that time heals all wounds. But for a lot of us, it's not great to go through pain and suffering for months or years after either a divorce or a breakup or a job loss. We really want to move forward, and that's what this system's all about, is allowing it to become part of your past much quicker than the natural process. And finally, understanding how it has grown you. Understanding what that pain has led you to is the final stage, which is really important. If that pain has led to you contacting me or watching this video or exercising more, then you're really starting to understand that pain was a driver or a trigger for you to grow as an individual. And growth is one of our key reasons for being on this planet. And pain will drive you there, I promise you. And that's why we should never allow pain to disappear from our life. Pain is really, really important. Pain will give us that little kick in the ass to go where we need to go. But we don't need to be kicked in the ass all the time. And this is what this system is about. It's appreciating pain for what it is, so when it rises in you, you can deal with it. I hope you enjoyed this episode on pain. I get a lot of calls and a lot of emails about it. Check me out on Instagram or head to the website www.oneyeartransformationchallenge.com just to see a bit more information, some behind the scenes stuff and some links to this article. Other than that, I'll see you tomorrow on the 1 Year Life Transformation Challenge. Goodbye. I wore this suit to give you a very serious message. That message is that I have an Instagram account now with thousands of followers. I would love you to join. So check me out at 1 Year Life Challenge on Instagram. I'd love to see you there. Heaps of photos of me topless or in a suit, and I'm happy to listen to your demands. Thank you, and check me out on Instagram.